right?
Yes.
It's like a restaurant. You got two great restaurants next to each other. One is filled to the brim. The other one is empty. Which one do you want to go to? You want to go to the one that's full because that's where everybody is. That's where the action is. And so that's what the polls are doing on social media when they publish this new poll. They say, oh, everybody, the liberals have got momentum. Well, I want to be on the winning team, so I'm going to vote liberal, right? These people, again, low information. They don't care.
They don't care. And also, if they've always been liberal, they just go liberal. And they go, oh, we needed somebody to refresh the party. Oh, here's the guy, right? It's just like all my family lives in California, and they have always been Democrats. They don't know what to do with themselves. They're just Democrats. No matter how stupid Kamala Harris is or whatever, they cannot think that they could ever mark a ballot for Trump, no matter even if they like him. Literally, my aunt said that. She's like, I have to go Democrat. I've never not gone that. Well, do you like the Democrat? Do you like what they're saying? Doesn't matter. They're lifelong Democrats. But I'm going to play this little clip that we talked about before with Mike Meyers. The thing is, I'm so disappointed in Mike Meyers, and I think, what are you thinking? Are you not paying attention? Obviously, you live in the States. Obviously, you're missing a few brain chips for somebody that I thought was smart. Or is it just why are the Hollywood people so dumb? Like, people that we thought would be smart have turned out to be so dumb. And while we're talking about Mike Meyers, you cannot ignore the influence he's had on Canadian culture, not even Canadian culture, but we all started saying swing because of him. We all started saying, oh, do I make you horny? Or mojo? Or
well, it was the whole, remember the not thing? Like, I'm really excited about that. Not. That was a total Wayne's World.
He created a language that became part of our lingo. I mean, that is not a small achievement. And the movies are very, very funny. I mean, he's a little Canadian treasure. And now he's canoodling with Mark Carney. He's going to put his whole career down the toilet if he keeps this nonsense up. Let me see if I can find this and play this. This was just, but you can tell he wrote this because it was quite clever. It was quite adorable. So that's why I think that he wrote it, because why not? Okay, so here we go.
Let's go. Mr. Prime Minister, Mike Meyers, what are you doing here? I just thought I'd come up and you live in the States. Yeah, but I'll always be Canadian. But you live in the States.
You live in Europe.
So, do you remember Mr. Dress-Up, the children's show on CBC? What were the names of Mr. Dress-Up's two puppet friends? Casey and Finnegan, Bud the Spud, Howie, Meeker, Capital Saskatchewan, Regina, tragically, Hip. You're a defenseman, defending a 2-on-1. What do? Take away the pass, obviously. What are the two seasons in Toronto? Winter and construction. Wow, you really are Canadian. Yeah, but let me ask you, Mr. Prime Minister, will there always be a Canada? There will always be a Canada. All right, elbows up, elbows up.
Elbows up. Shadoe, why? Why did he do this?
Again, I look at that and go, okay, so fancy bumping into you here, Mike Meyers, and just some random bumping into at a random hockey rink. I just happen to be here watching some kids practicing, and there you are, just randomly walking in with your Never 51 Canada team jersey. Mike Meyers may have written that. I don't know. You might be right.
I think so, because it's so clever and it's cut so fast the way he would do. I think he had a big hand in it.
It is his style. There's no doubt. But I think that he was probably paid a pretty handsome sum.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, my God. You think he ain't showing up for free doing that.
And you also
thanks for the check, Carney. Yeah,
that Mike Meyers is now an American citizen.
Yeah.
Right? He may be from Canada, but he's an American citizen. And I think Unacceptable Fringe, I saw his live stream today, and he was talking about how he played a clip of Mike Meyers from not so long ago, boasting about how proud he was to be an American citizen, right?
Oh.
How it's a great country, I love it so much, and yada-da-da-da-da-da. And so now all of a sudden Mike Meyers is all up with Mark Carney. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. It smacks of Kamala Harris, don't you think?
It does. It's like a pre-produced thing. But the thing is, Mike Meyers is actually talented. So he did do that well. And whoever wrote the script, I think it would have been him, knew enough to tug at our heartstrings by bringing up CBC, Mr. Dress-Up, Casey and Finnegan. And even the joke about winter in construction, that's a funny joke. I
Yeah.
think he wrote that. And so he got the check. That would have taken him 5 minutes to write because he's super smart. And I don't know if that actually affects Canadians or not. It might for some. It might, because my kids love those movies.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's
So
the thing about that is when you start bringing in the Hollywood types, it didn't work for Kamala, did it?
it didn't
I
work.
mean,
Oh, friggin' Beyonce and all of them, Megan the Stallion, no,
yeah.
Michelle Obama,
So
Oprah, Meryl Streep,
this,
J-Lo.
yeah.
Nobody
So
gave a shit.
this goes back to what I was saying earlier about
Yeah.
why. I mean, remember how long they campaign in the United States? I mean,
Yeah.
they campaign for like months, years, even, right? Because they have their House of Representatives get elected every 2 years, so they call them the midterms. And so it seems like there's always some kind of a campaign going on there. They start campaigning for primaries the year before the election. I mean, it's always a campaign in the United States. So people kind of get used to that whole thing down there. And there's a cycle to it, right? And so I think that the philosophy on when they brought Kamala in was that they brought her in too early. She peaked too early. And when the election came, she just kind of tanked. When she started actually getting seen by people and some of the idiotic answers that she was giving, right? This is why Carney has taken the shortest amount of time that a campaign in Canada can have, because this will shield him from idiot eruptions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Good point. But I hope it doesn't work. I really hope it doesn't work, but it might. I don't know. And one thing I want to ask you about is also, we talked about the Chandra Arya thing. I think that is so dirty. Whatever the reason is, now some people say, well, his son, Siddharth, I think what is his name? His name,
I
Siddhartha?
don't know.
Siddharth Arya. He's like some banker type, and he works for some banking thing that I think is the umbrella is in under the Brookfield Asset Management too.
Oh,
So yeah, so I don't know if they gave his son a job or his son already had the job. I mean, Brookfield is so big; it's not unlikely that a banker wouldn't get a job with one of their companies. So I have to dig into that connection. But his son has a job with the Brookfield Management, blah blah blah, the Carney people. And do you think Carney was like, you need to just step aside, Chandra, and I'll be taking that liberal seat. If there ain't no way I'm running in Edmonton, I couldn't even score in the net there, and Alberta is so conservative, right? I'll take the Nepean seat, very dirty. So I hope that people see through that.
well, that's
And
interesting that you bring that up.
yeah,
And
the
I go
son.
back to the beginning of the show when
Yeah,
you talked about the two different numbers that you got when you were looking for Mark Carney's net
yeah,
worth. One was in the millions, like
yeah,
7 to 9 million, and the other
yeah.
was upwards of 9
9
billion.
billion. Yeah.
Okay. So
Which,
let's remember that Mark Carney was the CEO for 3 years of Brookfield Asset Management. Brookfield Asset Management is massive, and some people call it a mini BlackRock. BlackRock controls something like $12 trillion. So if Brookfield controls 1/3 of that, or even 1/4 of that, they're still controlling somewhere in the area of $2.5 trillion, which is bigger than Canada's yearly GDP.
right.
Right? So
Yeah.
what kind of money would the CEO of Brookfield Management earn
Right.
for a company that is handling $2.5 trillion? Probably in the billions. And it's so hard for people to wrap their heads around how much money that is, because there's so many zeros and it's incomprehensible.
Yeah.
Right? But
It
Mark
is.
Carney, I believe he's probably worth in the billions. And Anita, that's why he doesn't, like when he was answering the question from that reporter from the Globe and Mail and then from Rosie Barton last week, when they said, look, you knew what was in the blind trust before you put it in the blind trust. How much
Right.
are you worth? He didn't answer it because he doesn't want people to know how much, money he's got, because heaven forbid he should be a billionaire like, Elon Musk, let's just say.
Yeah.
Right?
And are we supposed to think that this billionaire has given up everything and he loves Canada so much and he's retired, he's resigned from the board of directors from all these companies, given up all this to come because he loves Canada? And he's
No,
doing
he came
this for
down from
you.
Mount Olympus to save us from Donald
Save
Trump,
us.
Anita. Remember, that's
Oh,
what his
God.
story was.